Hi, this is Dr. Mark Sehl and Dr. Donald Mars. And we're doing right now, tonight, the 68th YouTube video on the YouTube channel Therapy for the Heart. And it's nice to have Donald back here again. He has been with us for a few times now. So that's why it's nice to have him back, because you did such a great job. And together we did such a great job, so we're going to try again.
We're going to try again.
Now we're going to see if we can do a little less than greater job. We don't want to be perfect, because our aim is not perfection, right, Donald?
But still a good job.
Okay, good job. Right. I'm glad we agree on that. Well, we agree on most things. We argue outside. We try to contain it here.
How many angels on the head of a pin?
Yes. Yes. How many therapists does it take to screw in a light bulb?
That's right.
Right.
One, you have to, what's it, one, but he has to want to or something? Or
He has to want to.
Want to.
Yes, he wants to screw it in. He has to be motivated.
Motivated.
Or she has to be motivated, being a little sexist here. So we're going to talk about self-esteem. And that's a pretty broad topic. So we'll ramble around a little bit, see where we go with it.
Mm-hmm.
And self-esteem.
You know, you asked, we did some of this on a podcast.
Yeah.
And during the podcast, you asked one really pertinent question.
Moi?
Yeah, this was on the nose.
What was that?
And I've been thinking about it since. And that was a question you posed to me about then, you know, if a person is unhappy and unsatisfied because of whatever reasons in their relationships with people, then why would they not seek out and establish relationships with people who would be more gratifying and satisfying to them?
Yes.
And that's a really good question.
It's like somebody who constantly is involved in, supposing you walk on the street and you see a man and a woman having a big fight. And you have an idea that they've done this before. So if you try to walk in there and separate them, they'll fight with you. Why wouldn't they stop that? Why wouldn't they want it? Why wouldn't they want to be rescued?
Yeah, well, I'm sure you've experienced it in your practice. I know I have experienced it in my practice. People have come to see me and have often said, you know, I have another relationship, and it's painful, and it's argumentative, and he or she is critical of me. I'm not happy, and I've been through this before. And they keep repeating the same kind of unsatisfying relationships.
You almost would think that they might want to.
Well, they seek it out. Unconsciously, they seek out these kind of relationships. It's really good sonar.
Yeah, so it's
unconscious.
It's all unconscious. Because if they were more conscious, they would need less help with it. Because that's why they're coming. They really usually come because I have this relationship and it's a repetition and it's a pattern and I want to stop it. Sometimes they come in and will talk like that. Often they'll just come and say, I'm not happy with my relationships, but there often is not any insight as to it's been repeated over and over again. And even if it is, even if there is an insight, they have no awareness that this is something that they're bringing on. They are bringing it on.
No awareness. Yeah. The only awareness they have is that how many alcoholic or drug addicted or non-working or very critical significant others can there be in a you know, that they can keep hooking up with these kind of people.
Right.
I mean, 2, 3, 4 in a row. Come on, you know. They select out those people unconsciously, of course, and they are aware of that they've been through several of them and they're really unhappy. This has to end. This has to stop, which is a great beginning place. But again, going back to your question, why is that being done? And that's when I think of that old wonderful joke that
you mean the Woody Allen one?
Not the Woody Allen one.
I know. I always think about
Woody
the Woody
Allen.
Allen. Sometimes
it's the Groucho Marx joke
Yeah.
about that he would never belong to any club that would have him as a member.
Yes, I always think of that. I think it's
Woody
pinned
Allen.
that on Woody Allen for some
Yeah,
reason.
it's Groucho Marx.
Maybe that's something that he would have said.
Yeah, could
But
be.
Groucho Marx beat it to the punch.
Beat him to the punch.
Who came first, Woody Allen or Groucho
Woody
Marx?
Allen. Groucho Marx.
Groucho Marx is
He's long dead.
Yeah,
and Woody
I
Allen
kind
is
of
still
knew that
alive.
when I asked the question.
Yeah. Woody Allen is
Yeah.
still alive and kicking.
Yeah, isn't he?
Not young, but he's still alive.
So
Groucho has been gone for many
repetition
years.
compulsion is he in?
Yeah.
Repetition
That's the term.
compulsion. So
That's the
that's
term.
what we're talking about is the repetition compulsion, the impulse to do the same thing over and over again, even if the outcome is not very satisfying.
Yeah.
So
In hopes that,
you'll change the scene.
right, somehow
So-
next time will be better.
So you'll get the mother or father to really love you this time.
Right.
So we're really looking for the original object that has something to do with this repetition compulsion.
Right.
Pre long time ago experiences, and starting in infancy.
Yeah.
Something-
Childhood, certainly childhood, sure.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. It goes back. And what's sad about this whole thing is that most parents don't look, everybody gets hurt in life.
Mhm.
When we're growing up, just living, we get hurt. It just happens. We can't escape those kinds of injuries. A blow to our ego, a blow to our self-esteem, a blow to our narcissism,
Well, if we
however
could,
you want to call it.
and if we could escape them, it wouldn't be so great.
Wouldn't be so
either,
great anyway.
because we wouldn't learn to develop some
That's right.
tolerance for life.
That's right.
Yeah.
And such
Right.
as such, for example, there were some parents that tried to avoid any kind of struggle or conflict with their child. And I'm thinking about some people who I used to know when they had kids who were very young who were being toilet trained. They were trying to avoid any kind of conflict, and some would tell me, "Oh, I'm not going to do anything. By the time he's 5 years old and going to school, he or she will be okay because they'll want to be like everybody else." As nice as that sounds, there's a price to pay. They're going to pay a price for that.
Yeah,
There are some struggles that just are struggles that we have to go through, that we learn from, that we develop from, and even parenting. And I mentioned this in our last podcast. Parenting has even gone through great swings. In the old days, children should be heard and not spoken to. And I shouldn't be speaking. They should just sit there and be quiet. What the hell are they supposed to know? They're just a kid. Never old, spare the ride, spoil the child, meaning you can hit the kids. We frown on that now. And then now we have the other extreme where it's, and I mentioned this last time, you get these awards for everything, as if that's supposed to fool the kids into thinking that everything is equal.
Yeah, like in Little League.
Right.
Everybody has to win.
Right, and everyone they don't keep score,
Yeah.
but you can't fool the kids because, they know who the best hitter is. Which one hits the ball, has the best coordination, has the highest average, has the most power. They know it's who that kid is. And so so if you're going to say, well, you're a good hitter, they know, hey, I may be an okay hitter, but that kid over there, Jimmy the shortstop, Mickey, as in Mickey Mantle when he first started playing was a shortstop, Mickey, he's the hitter,
Yeah, they know who's the
They know.
hitter.
They can't fool them. They know who the best hitter is. They know who the best fielder is, and they know who the fastest runner is.
Right.
They're not going to fool them. And so when you do that kind of thing, you also make them suspicious, that what you're saying is,
You're lying to them.
yeah, so
No
you're
way.
downplaying it. So when you say that I'm really special and great, you like to be about the ball game, so maybe I'm not so special. So anyway, there has repercussions.
Right. Sometimes, I forgot what I was thinking of. Oh, I know what. Sometimes you had mentioned that this is unintentional
Sure.
on the parent part, on the part of the parent. I think that for the most part that's true. On the other hand, it's not. Or else it's hard to see it as unintentional. For instance, I was working with somebody recently, a woman, and her father would call her stupid.
Oh, see, that's a different story.
I know, and I know but I'm just, I want to put that over here, and on the opposite of unintentional.
Right.
There's nothing unintentional about that. Now, they might not be able to help themselves because that's what was done to them when they were children. So you could say that they're just repeating something and not able to control it, which is probably mostly true. They have not been in therapy, most likely. But and I think another danger of it is that same. It's like like people need to be able to express their feelings about what has been done to them as children, as adults. So when they're coming to us, sometimes they're in a pickle because they might be in AA or another 12-step program, and those programs will be all into forgiveness. You know, that's the modern age to kind of forgive everybody.
Yeah.
Right? However, that's not what they need to do, because if you've been beat up and told that you're a piece of shit, you know, and you're worth nothing, which some people that I have,
parents do.
some they do, and more than some.
Well, they communicate that in some way.
In some way, so yeah. So I think the danger in that is that the person has to have some room to be able to say and to be able to express the outrage and the anger about the trauma that was done
comes
to
later.
them.
Yeah, that's going to
Whatever it comes, some of these programs don't even give you the idea that that's important. It's
just
like,
forgive them.
just forgive them, or you have character defects,
Right.
and that's a typical thing with. I am very positive about AA and the 12-step programs, but I've always thought that was one of the flaws, is to immediately think that who you are is a defect, that rather than something that you would become more aware of, and if you become more aware of it, you'll act differently.
Now, I have no proof of what I'm going to say, but my sense is that, I'm going to give you an example of something else that I'm assuming is probably more usual than someone being called stupid, which is really a terribly hurtful thing to say. I was recently at home and I had the TV on, listening to the background. It had some sports show on, and I hear the promo for the sports show about this kayaker who is kayaking down, I think it was 100 some odd miles of the most dangerous white water in the United States, and he could die. He could not make it. It may kill him. The attempt may kill him. And I turned around and said, "What? Why would somebody? What would possess someone who is blind to want to attempt something as crazy as this?" You know. And then I interviewed the parents. And I said, and I got angry. I said, "That's why." Now, the parents meant well. They did not mean to do this. But what the parents said to this young man as he was growing up, I think he was blind from birth, or I couldn't swear to that, is that they communicated to him that he was as good as any